Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I think we're live, so we should be all good to go ahead and get started. I'd like to give everyone a warm welcome to tonight's January National Venturing Cabinet Call. For those of you who hopped on in October, very similar structure. For those of you who are new, my name is Andrea Marone. I have the pleasure of serving as the 2024-2025 National Venturing President. And a little bit about what we're doing tonight. The National Venturing Cabinet consists of the National Venturing Officers Association and our TVOA presidents, council support presidents who are on the Zoom call tonight. We're all very excited to, we gather every couple of months, we share our successes, the struggles, and some pieces of advice moving forward, as well as any goals or events that we have moving forward. So we're really excited. We got together in October. We're getting together now, and we'll probably get together about one or two more times before the end of our terms. So very excited to have them all tonight on the Zoom call, and I'm very excited to see you all joining us live through Facebook or YouTube. Thank you all so much for joining us, and a happy holiday season for everyone. Thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. With that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. To do so, I'll go ahead and hand it off to Julie Dalton, the National Venturing Chair and NVOA Advisor, for a quick safety moment.
Thanks, Andrea. So tonight I want to talk about a safety moment that actually isn't part of BSA's safety moments, but it comes from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and it's something that probably pertains to most of you out there, and it has to do with winter driving and driving safely. In my neck of the woods, we got hammered with snow over the weekend, so driving is of the utmost importance. So when you're driving on snow and ice, remember the basics. Slow down. It's harder to control or stop your vehicle on a slick or snow-covered surface. Make sure that your following distance is enough that you can stop. So you probably want to increase what you normally do. And don't crowd the snow plows. They're there to do a job, and they turn wide, they're overlapping lanes, they're throwing stuff out, and you just don't need to be in their way. If you are caught in an emergency where your car is stopped or you're stalled in wintry weather, you need to stay focused on yourself, your passengers, your car, and your surrounding. Stay with your car. Don't overexert yourself. Let your car be seen. That might be done with putting bright markers on the antenna or the windows to keep the interior dome light on. And be careful and mindful of carbon monoxide. Make sure that your exhaust pipe isn't blocked by snow, ice, and only run your car sporadically, just enough to keep you warm. Make sure that your vehicle is prepared for your trip. Some items you might want to add to your car that you don't normally carry would be a snow shovel, a broom, ice scraper, de-icer, some kind of abrasive material such as sand or kitty litter in case you get stuck. That'll help with traction getting out of the snow. Jumper cables, flashlight, some kind of a warning device like flares or emergency markers, a first aid kit. Extra hats, gloves, even socks or shoes in case those get wet because you don't want to have wet clothing on when it's that cold. Some extra blankets to keep you protected from the cold. Make sure that your cell phone is with you, and make sure that you've got a battery pack that's fully charged before you start your trip. Water, food, and any necessary medicine. You want to make sure that you're gassed up or you're fully charged if you have a electric or hybrid electric vehicle. Remember that batteries will deplete faster in colder weather, so you want to make sure you've got that full tank of gas and full battery charged. Just like everything else we do in scouting, you want to plan your route. You want to make sure somebody else knows when you leave, when you're expected to arrive. Again, remember that your batteries are going to deplete faster in colder weather, and you want to make sure your tires are fully aired up, because in the cold the tire pressure will go down, which is going to hinder your traction on those slippery roads. So be careful out there for everybody that's driving out on the snow and the ice, and I will turn it back over to you, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Julie. With that, we'll go ahead into the National VOA report, and we'll go ahead and begin. So I want to share a couple things that we've been working on in the last couple of months, especially since October. We've been working on the National Venturing Survey results analysis. So for those of you who don't know, we conducted a survey back in spring of 24. We've received the results from the survey, and now what we're doing is we're kind of compiling all that information, making an analysis, trying to make sense of the numbers that we received to then share with you all, first of all, what were the results of that survey? And then second of all, knowing these results, what can we do moving forward? So the way we'll be doing that in the coming months, we'll be separating into categories such as membership, advancement, program, like activities. So for example, for the membership one, we may say something along the lines of, and this is true, most ventures say that they joined venturing because of word of mouth, right, from other ventures. So we know that if a youth is in venturing, they're not shy to share with other friends that they're in venturing, right? I mean, I tell all my friends that I'm in venturing. So what we might want to do, knowing that information, is provide more marketing resources for our youth to go out and tell all their friends about venturing, but more specifically, how they can join. So make sure to keep an eye out on that. It'll be most likely on our social medias. So keep an eye out for that for sure. On top of that, I'm excited to share that we'll be speaking at the March membership mixer about one of the membership subcommittees. So the one in particular that we'll be speaking about is the Family Scouting Continuum. And the basic concept there is it's very well known that you go from Cub Scouts into Scouts. So you go from a pack to a troop. What we're trying to push is the idea of you go from a pack to a troop to an older youth program, which includes venturing. So we're very excited to share all kinds of resources on how to best kind of push this concept and make sure that it's happening across the country. So we're very excited to be doing that in March. All the youth that you're seeing here tonight, they're all more than happy. They're very excited to show up to events, talk all things venturing. I know I love going to events and talking about venturing and meeting venturers from across the country, getting to hear their stories. So if you're interested in having a youth officer or an advisor at one of your events, whether it be a council, a crew event, there is an officer attendance request form, and that can be found on the venturing website, which is on the BSA website. So it's all linked in there. A couple examples, I was able to attend the Baltimore Area Council's Health Services Luncheon a couple of weeks ago. And then about 2 weekends ago, I was able to visit the council in Puerto Rico for their local recognitions event, which was absolutely phenomenal. Just getting to see how different how different councils have, uniqueness to them, and just getting to see how everything operates is really unique. So I really do highly recommend, if you're interested in having a youth officer or an advisor present at one of your events, go ahead and use that form. I did have a little bit of a membership update. So based on numbers, including dual registered members, that's youth who are maybe primarily registered in a troop and second in a crew, we currently, as of January 1st, have 20,854 youth and 1,746 crews, which shows an increase of about 5,000 youth and 196 crews as of March of 2024, which is really exciting. And about 229 out of 236 councils across the country have a venturing crew. So this is significant growth, and it's really exciting to see. So thank you all for the hard work that you've been putting in, and I'm really excited to see how the program continues to grow. On the topic of youth getting together for venturing with that officer request form, I wanted to share with you all that the Chart Lead Explore program at the Philmont Training Center will be happening again this upcoming summer. Last summer, we all gathered at the Philmont Training Center. We had a great week. We learned a lot. We were able to do a lot of activities. Some of us did the Tooth of Time, which was a lot of fun. So the next Chart Lead Explore conference at the Philmont Training Center will be held July 6th through 12th, 2025. And all the details on how to register and details on the course are available on the Philmont Training Center website. In fact, we'll be putting up a new updated course description in the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited about that. With that being said, that kind of sums up my report for the last couple of months. And so I'll go ahead and hand it off to program with Alyssa Ross.
Hello, everyone. For my report tonight, I have some exciting program notes. First off, we're excited to announce that the Ranger Award has been updated by the Awards and Advancement Committee. And although it has a few more approvals to go through before it is released, we're looking forward to the future of this project. And don't forget, all of the podcasts are out there and they are great resources. So if you haven't checked into that, be sure to look at those. We're also thrilled to announce the active task force on venturing program helps, staffed by a dozen youth and adult leaders. The purpose of the task force is to develop a series of kind of drop-in venturing activities and games, along with reflection questions to facilitate discussion. These will be the venturing equivalent of the Cub Scout program helps, as they are quick and easy activities that range from about 5 to 45 minutes and can be used at crew meetings and outings with minimal preparation, since the themes, materials list, and instructions will be provided in the program. Several of the activities that will be found in there will be taken from the discontinued Kodiak Challenge syllabus, and others will be games and activities that have been proven fun and effective at the unit level. The goal is to have these program helps ready for release this spring. If this first model is successful, the hope is to have a new task force of a similar nature next year. We're looking forward to seeing the hard work of this task force come into fruition soon. I also have some updates on the pen map project. Can we go to the next slide, please? All right, so this resource is still in the works, but we're hoping to release it soon. The overall purpose of the project is to connect crews throughout the country and provide more detailed insights on venturing as a whole. As you can see, this is the current draft of what the map will look like, and you can kind of see how each pin that's on there, a pin represents a crew, is a different color. And then on the left of the screen, you can see kind of the little key that we have in the works that has a colored pin for each territory. So all of the beautiful mix of colors, those are the territories that you're seeing, and all of the crews grouped within those territories. On the next slide, we have a more zoomed in version of it. And you can kind of see this is parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, and northern Georgia, which is part of Territory 14, the territory that I'm in. And you can kind of see on the middle of the screen how it shows, it says crew 0701. That's my crew, that's in Territory 14. And so what we've done there is you've clicked on a pin and you can see it shows some basic information about that unit, including the contact information. If you were to scroll down, you would see that for the unit. So a question that might pop up in your head about this project is, what is the difference between Be a Scout? Can't I just type beascout.org and do the exact same thing and get the same amount of information? Well, the answer is not exactly. So the little photo on the left is what would happen if I were to put in my zip code. And you can see there's only a few units listed. And these are some of the crews in my council. But that's the thing about Be a Scout is first off, you have to have a zip code to put in, and it will only show you a small collection of the units that are within a certain area of where you are. With the Venturing Pen Map, you don't have to worry about that. You can look at crews anywhere, and you won't need a zip code, which is really cool because sometimes I cannot remember zip codes. So this, with the topic of the information that will be shown on here, because the information is pulled from Be a Scout for your crew, with it being the new year, it's advisors. It's always a great time to ensure that the information that you have for your crew on Be a Scout is updated, and that you make sure you have a good contact attached to your crew. A great example of how this tool could be used is if your crew wanted to take a trip to somewhere else in the country, and you were either looking for recommendations or you just want to connect with another crew in a different area. This would be a great way to do that because you could find that area on the map and then you could click that little pin and it would have contact information for a leader in that crew. But crews won't be able to do that unless the information is up to date. So advisors, make sure that your information is up to date and good to go. And you don't have to be the contact on there. We just want to make sure that a registered adult leader that is willing to be responsible for recruitment is the person that is on bscout.org. So with that, thank you all so much for being here tonight. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of these exciting projects roll out soon. And I'm looking forward to attending Winterfest in Gatlinburg in just a few weeks. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to Matt.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm the Vice President of Communications. Since our last call on October 7th, the NVOA Instagram page has reached over 10,000 individual accounts and 27,000 views. And since then as well, our Facebook has reached 9,500 individual accounts and received 38,000 views. We also have a Fall Fun Rally post, a Colorado Jamboree post coming out very soon. We're updating our social media banners, and in the next few days, expect to see some information regarding an NVOA newsletter. But with that, I'm going to pass it on to Katie.
Hello. So first things first is that all of our territories, 1 through 8 in the Western territories, all have presidents and advisors, which is really cool. And they're all working really hard with their councils to support them as best they can. Along with supporting them, as part of supporting them, they're helping them get ready for Council Service to Venturing Excellence. That's coming up this month. And the territories are helping the councils get ready by creating resources and infographics that tell them what they need to prepare. I expect high response rates to CSVE as the territories have been having great communication with their councils. We also have Territory Standards of Venturing Excellence #2 also due at the end of this month. And that's for the territories to fill out. And it's a reflection on their past trimester and also setting goals for the third trimester or the last trimester. Both of CSVE and TSVE are both progress reports that they submit, and both of them are basically letting us know how to help. During our Western region calls, the territories have been specifically focusing on sharing resources, especially virtual trainings that ventures across territories can join. We do know that sometimes it is hard to put on events, especially trainings, if you don't have all the resources. But if another council is hosting one that's virtual that anyone can join, then it's very easy if they share that resource with everyone. Also, a big focus we're having is on every single meeting, reflecting on the progress the territories have made towards their goals and writing out attainable steps for improvement and working towards their goals in the future. The next WTR call is going to be on January 8th. With that, I will move it on to Aiden.
Hey, what's up, everyone? So first off, I'm happy to report that we have presidents, vice presidents, and adult advisors representing the venturing program in nearly every single territory, which is super, super important because it means that we have youth and people in our areas and our units advocating for the voices of councils in Scouting America all across the nation and by extension the world, which is super, super awesome to see. This means the youth are collaborating with one another to help decide the future of the venturing program, especially as we move into February 8th towards our rebrand. We're talking about best practices in offering what youth nationwide want to see from the program and evaluating what venturing looks like moving forward. We are collecting new council standards of venturing excellence and territory standards of venturing excellence, which, as Katie suggested, is our progress report forms that people fill out every single trimester. Got new ones coming out this month, and we're super, super excited to get those back because those forms are utilized by us to help set goals and benchmarks moving forward into our next trimester, especially as we begin to close out the term for this year. One thing I want to talk about is that the guidebook to venturing that we mentioned in October last year, for our last cabinet call, shifted directions multiple times in the conceptual phase, which is totally fine because these things are meant to do that. But it means that we're currently crowdsourcing new ways to publicly deliver pre-existing resources. So my question to you is, what do you want to see from the NVOA, and what can we do to support you? Our next ETR call, next Eastern Region call, is on January 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think that does it. That's everything that I have. So I'd like to pass it on to Andrea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aiden. So, oh my gosh, there we go. So now we'll go ahead and move on to our territory VOA reports with our council support presidents from across the country. We'll go ahead and start with CST1. Do we have a representative from CST1 here tonight? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and report on their behalf. So CST1, when asked what their top strategy was for increasing youth engagement and retention in venturing, they wrote something really inspiring from Baden-Powell, which I thought was really neat. So I'd like to share that with you all right now. They shared that Baden-Powell taught that a fisherman does not bait his hook with food he likes. He uses food the fish like, right? So the thought process here was to increase youth engagement and retention in venturing, you really have to tailor the program to the venturing youth, right? Whether that be, we talk about leading the adventure, but you also have the opportunity to choose your adventure and program. Every crew is a different specialty, and therefore your crew could be a scuba crew, it could be a community service crew, it could be, I've seen Lego building crews where their name tags are like Lego plates and then they have their names. I think that's super cool. I've seen a scuba crew that has their unit number, it's like the red patch, and then it has the white line across it like a dive flag. So truly tailoring the program to the youth that we want to kind of draw to venturing, right? When asked what their goals were moving forward, a smooth transition to a future TVOA team, right? So our terms go from June 1st to May 31st, which means that we're about halfway through our terms, a little bit more. And soon we will be sending out application forms for TVOA and NVOA positions in order to ensure that we have successful youth, advisors, teams, and a successful program year after year. We want to make sure that we have smooth transition between officers. So that's really exciting to see. They also shared that they will be continuing their CSTVOA monthly calls, just be shifting the kind of format a little bit. So that'll be really interesting and exciting to see. And then as for upcoming events, they'll be attending a lot of their council VOA meetings, which is really exciting. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it over to CST3 with Josie.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Very happy to be representing CST3. Love them. I'm Josie, and I am very happy to talk about my territory. As for our top strategy for increasing youth engagement and retention, like was said earlier in the call, word of mouth is very powerful and very important. We found that direct communication seems to be the most influential way of communication. So as always, we're very happy to be able to talk to all of the venturers in the territory through our roundtables, our monthly calls, and to be able to hear directly from them what they've been doing and to see their passion really shine through for the program. That's always wonderful, and we want to encourage everyone to keep spreading that word of mouth and to keep encouraging their friends and family members and whoever they know to join the program. Our goals moving forward are basically we want to have more attendance. We would love to have even more people join and to be having more wonderful conversations with more people. we've had a lot of different councils attend our calls, so they always haven't been like the most consistent. So we'd love to see everybody be able to talk to each other. In general, our territory has been growing. We've heard from a lot of the different councils that they're working on developing CVOAs. We've had some very, very passionate adventurers working very hard on this and trying to get some events together. That's all for Territory 3, CST 3.
Thank you so much, Josie. With that, we'll move on to CST4 with the Council Support President Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Thomas Hoffman. I'm the president of CST4. And recently we've been hard at work hosting a number of events. We recently had one of the last ever Powder Horns with ventures from multiple councils attending, including members of Council Venturing Officers Associations. We are also working on hosting another STEM retreat in one of our councils sometime in the next few months, but details are limited as of right now. Additionally, we are also preparing for CSVs. One of the things that we did that was a pretty big success was one of the things that we've done that's been a pretty big success for engaging members and retaining ventures was actually a STEM retreat. We had scouts and ventures from neighboring councils attend, and it was great in promoting the venturing program to all these members. My suggestion would be to find an area that you are passionate about and that lacks support and focus on driving some event or activity in that area. For me, that was the STEM retreat, but it could be anything for you, such as the scuba crew that Andrea mentioned a few minutes ago. Other people with similar interests will come, and it serves as another way to recruit people into the venturing program. Another thing that we've done was educating district volunteers on venturing awards and venturing advancement. We recently had another venture in our council earn their summit rank, and the process of holding this board of review and processing the summit application actually educated a number of different people on venturing advancement as a program option. One goal that we have for the remainder of the year is we want to promote more interaction between council and the territories. We are wanting to do this through joint events hosted by councils that invite other councils to attend, and we also want to have a larger presence as a territory VOA at these events. So getting territory officers and advisors at the events to help promote the venturing program. And finally, we are looking into the possibility of a joint award ceremony for ventures across our territory to be held in late spring, but details are limited on that for now. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Now we'll move on to CST5 with their Council Support President, Walter.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Walter, as Andreas said, and for CST5, one of our top strategies for increasing youth engagement is having a president at council events. So also encouraging CVOAs or even crews to make an event open to everyone inside in their council to come out to an event that can have entire council at one place at one time. This way you can promote venturing not only in crews and their friends, but also to scouts. That way you can kind of boost a way of increasing engagement and retention. Another way we can help is by either going out to these events as a president, or maybe even like sending out a video or record a video to kind of like promote, hey, come out to these events. We're here to support and show. Some of our goals moving forward is to keep this retention up. And we also have 2 councils interested in starting CVOAs. And one of our main central goals for the next trimester is to support these 2 councils and ensure that they have the first founding blocks to create their CVOAs, because it's a great step forward and will help out their councils big time. We also have some upcoming events. The Greater St. Louis Area Council has an event called STO After Dark, so St. Louis After Dark. It's a lock-in style event, but they get to go travel around St. Louis to different places like the Boeing headquarters, Budweiser Brewery, kind of see what happens at the place after dark, see the background of all these different buildings where most people don't get to see. And at the end, it's a nice fun lock-in at a recreation center. We also have another one by Venture West Council, which has a discovery rank training, which to go through some basic trainings like LSC, goal planning, and simple stuff like that, where you can get trainings done real quick for the entire council. And it's a great event to get some trainings promoted and accomplished for those working towards their rank and learning more trainings. So far, that's it for CST5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Walter. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to CST6 with Emmeline.
Hi guys, I'm Emmeline Quabelfin. I'm from CST6 as the Council Support President, and I'm ready to give my report. So our top strategy for our ventures within our territory has been engaging during the youth planning process for events. Luckily, our council has a very active territory. Multiple councils always host multiple events, and we love going to them. We love interacting with them. And we want to make sure that everyone is in the loop and make it a point to have fun and offer flexibility for our venturers. Another big thing for us that I believe is the most important is making personal connections. Making personal connections with your territory, your council, your advisors, your general members. Realize how easily it is to find a connection with people who share that similar interest and that passion. You guys have goals that are the same and hold the same love for the program. Be a friend to all. Don't be afraid to really reach out to that person. Some goals that we have for the rest of our term is to really improve our membership retention. It's already good, but we would love to see more people. We love interacting with you guys. We love hearing about your experiences, and we want to be that resource for you. We are currently helping 5 councils set up their CVOAs, and we're looking to grow that number as the term continues. Luckily, there's lots of interest from our local council, so we hope to get that up all the way for the rest of the term. Another thing is utilizing our training task force and hosting online trainings for not only our territory. We love, giving our trainings to our territory. However, we would love if you guys come by if you need any kinds of trainings that we'll be hosting. We'll be sending out local things on our social media as well as if you want to be on the email list. It's a good option to have an online training as it is hard to meet in person sometimes, especially for how big your territory can be. Any upcoming events that we actually have a training on how to set up a CVOA for our newer members and crews in the program, and more trainings are to come this year. Mentoring. So if you would like to come by, actually, we have it on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. It'll be halfway through our monthly territory meeting. That is next Sunday. We love visitors, and if you happen to need the mentoring training for advancements, please come by. Our link will be in our Instagram, so please come follow us there. We post to come join us. Last 2 events is Climb Through the Night Lock-In, hosted by Rainbow Council, which is going to be in February 7th to the 8th. And last but not least, Sea Badge, which is kind of a older youth program version of Wood Badge, hosted by Three Fires online. This past one was January 4th through 5th, and our second session will be the 11th through the 12th. Other than that, CST6 has nothing else to report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to CST 7 with Joaquin. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. So our top strategy is just being accessible and offering support. Going to centers of excellence like district roundtables to promote the venturing, let people know what the program's about. Just getting that word of mouth across about what the venturing program is and what we have to offer. Moving forward, we're looking to start a newsletter showcasing what every crew is doing in our territory. Those that will respond, we're going to promote that on our social media very soon. We're also looking to start a virtual VOA so that councils with a small venturing presence can also have that experience of carrying out trainings across a larger area and being able to plan larger events. And for upcoming events, we had the Venturing Challenge, February 21st to the 23rd, from the Sam Houston Area Council at Tellefson Scout Camp. So we'd love to see you there. Back to you, Andrea.
Thank you so much. With that, we'll move on to CST 8 with Paul.
Hey, also just to give a general report, in the time since our most previous meeting, we've been able to establish contact with one of the other councils within our territory, being Indian Nations, as well as assisting Longhorn Council in fully electing a council level VOA staff of officers. So they have an entire staff ranging from a president to a treasurer. We also have confirmation that another council within our territory, Circle 10, has a VOA president, and I do believe they do have an active staff of VOA officers as well. We've also confirmed meeting dates going through May, and I can share those out with anybody interested in joining in. That'll be a bit of a new thing for us to do. So if anyone has any advice for that, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, in the time that passed in the last previous week, I don't know if this would go to a specific territory, but at a national youth leadership training hosted by Longhorn Council, we were able to fly in some scouts from Mexico City who are interested in starting up their own crew and maybe doing a VOA out of Mexico City. So I don't know exactly who I would push that to, but anyone, I guess that it's out there now. So my main note is that Longhorn Council Crew 336 will be providing a ILSC/leadership workshop for crews within the council, and I will work on seeing if we can get that to become maybe a larger scale virtual thing for people in farther distances or maybe in other councils. And Longhorn Council, also to my knowledge, is working on rehosting a powder horn. We were able to have one this last year. I don't believe we'll be having one in the year of 2025. So hopefully they will be doing it on their own in 2026. And that is my report.
Thank you so much, Paul. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to CST 9 with Mr. Garner.
Hi, I'm Steve Garner. I'm the advisor for CST 9. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have a youth president, so I'm gonna take a crack at running through some of the highlights from Territory 9. To answer the question about top strategy for increasing youth engagement, retention, and venturing, and I've always found that if the youth run the crew, they tend to stick around. And if they are part of the planning and they run in the meetings and all the only thing that the advisors do is make coffee and offer a cup to each other, then the youth will stick around and we will get retention and venturing. Some of the goals that we have in Territory 9, since we don't have a president at the moment, is to start looking to fill the positions of those officer positions here to support council venturing for the 2025-26 term. So this is a general call for those of you who are watching who are in Ohio, Indiana, or Michigan, to let me know, let Andrea know that you're interested in taking a look at what those positions are about for the next term. I'm real happy to report that Territory 9, along with the general community of venturing across the country, has been growing in 2024. Territory 9 is a pretty large territory in terms of total number of units, total number of crews that we have, but we added 17 crews since last March. So we're real happy to see that, and that increase came across all of the 17 councils we have in Territory 9. So it was somewhat evenly spread in terms of new crews being created or in the territory. And we have a very large venturing presence in Michigan Crossroads Council. And one of the big events that has been going on in Michigan, I think probably at least 15 or 20 years, is the Venturing Kickback. And the event coming up here in 2025 is February 21 to 23, Gerber Scout Reservation, which is just north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you're anywhere within driving distance, this is well worth the trip. This is going to be, as you might expect, focused on winter sports type activities, and they do everything from snowshoeing to cross-country skiing, ice climbing, and all kinds of really cool stuff. And the real bonus is you don't have to sleep in a tent. They've got heated cabins that you can sleep in. registration is open for another couple of weeks. Jump on the Michigan Crossroads website and take a look at registering. A great weekend event. That's pretty much all I've got for Territory 9, so I'll send it back to Andrea.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garner. And like Mr. Garner mentioned, we are missing a council support president and vice president for CST9. So if any of you on the call are interested or know someone who may be interested, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to have you join the team. As you can see, everyone on this call is super friendly, and it's a great experience. I've had a great experience so far. So please do not hesitate to reach out. And working with Mr. Garner is always a pleasure. So don't be, not too worried about that one, right? But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on to CST 10 with the council support vice president, Nathan.
So hello, everyone. My name is Nathan. I'm the vice president for Territory 10. To start off, we'll talk about our strategy for engagement with youth. And it's really about making sure that youth ventures know that this crew is for them. They really need to take ownership of their own crew, and they can do that through youth leadership. It's going back to what Mr. Garner said. It's really about the youth, and the youth do the actual leading of the crew, and the adults go ahead and they make coffee. They're there just as safety. I like to say it a lot that the adults are there for the safety. My dad likes to say the adults are there to make sure that you know how to call 911 when you get yourself into an accident. Goals moving forward is to help strengthen our new TVOA vice president, me, and our ad hoc members. So we have 2 ad hoc members right now. Addie is currently working on a crew exchange program for crews across our territory to meet and exchange resources. And Leo is currently working on our communications and making sure that we have a great online presence to help run our events and promote our meetings. We're currently working on strengthening our contacts with council VOAs. So we have updated contact lists from 13 out of 21 of our councils. So we're doing pretty good on that. And for upcoming events, the Spirit of Adventure Council is running a Leave No Trace Master course in March. Mayflower Council is running a rank training course also in March. That will be from all of the Alps leadership trainings from Venturing Through Summit. Should be a pretty cool event. Where they're currently in the process of looking for trainers right now. And Mayflower Council will also be running a VOA contingent down to Swamp Base in Louisiana this summer. That's all from me for Territory 10. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathan. With that, we'll move on to CST 12 with Ella Lee. I do know Ella Lee is in the middle. Oh, wait, you're muted. I was going to say middle of a winter storm.
Sorry about that. I totally forgot to unmute. Thank you. Alrighty, so I'll start again then. Hello, everyone. My name is Ella Lee Bullock, and I am CST 12's president. Our top strategy for increasing youth is fun activities and events where youth come because they can meet new people, experience and challenge themselves, and ultimately grow. Further than that, making those personal connections with your units, even at council level trainings, formal dinner events, unit events, whatever it is, making that connection and being like, hey, venturing something that's really cool and you can do it too. For our goals moving forward, we have been working on rebuilding our communications mailing list with all of our councils and units, and have had really great attendance at our monthly call meetings. And we've been trying a few new things for our last one. For example, we did holiday sweaters and favorite holiday treats. But going forward, we'd like to really reach out directly to all of those units and crews and see if they are interested in forming a CVOA. And that's kind of like that next step that they're ready for. Or if they just need help hosting board of reviews, venturing trainings, event planning, etc. But looking more directly at where they can use that support. For upcoming events, I know our NCAC CVOA is hosting a climbing lock-in in February. And that's something that they've done a few years now, and it's a pretty awesome event. That's all for me.
Thank you so much, Ellie. And good luck with the storm. Same thing to everyone in that Midwest portion. Good luck with the weather. It looks pretty intense, but I know hopefully everyone's all right. So thank you so much, Ellie. With that, we'll move on to CST 13 with Nathan.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Schooler, and I currently serve as the CST 13 president. Like those before me have said, a top strategy for increasing youth engagement and retention is being seen. Wear your green uniform to every event you can, and bring something to hand out to people to promote the venturing program, like flyers, business cards, and of course, my favorite, stickers. I always love stickers. Another key strategy to keep youth engaged is through unique activities. I always encourage crews to hold inter-crew activities with one another. As we move into 2025, a main goal of CST 13 leadership is to provide our councils with promotional materials that they can use to share the word about the venturing program. Between now and our last National Venturing Cabinet meeting, CST 13 has released our communications toolkit, and we've also sent out a survey to every single council to collect information on how we, the CST 13, can better support all of you. So if you haven't checked out our communications toolkit or filled out that survey, make sure to check out both of those as soon as you can. And that's all from CST 13.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, we'll move on to CST 14 with Michael.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Michael Carlin. I am the president from CST 14. We're doing pretty good. The holidays, there's always a little bit of a slowdown. There's a speed bump there, but we're coming out the other side strong. We've had some great meetings and conversations recently. I want to shout out Aiden Wells again for our mentoring training back in late October. That was a great meeting with a super high turnout, and that was a lot of fun. So thank you, Aiden, and thank you everyone who came out. I appreciated seeing you all. And also our most recent meeting was our CSV 101 chat, because that is just right around the corner. So we're trying to stay prepped for that. Still trying to reach out to a few councils with decent venturing health to start VOAs, and we've gotten some responses, but we're still mostly just waiting for a response. We're hoping that after the holiday season, maybe we'll get something when we reach out again. As for increasing youth engagement and retention, my big thing is always connecting with other programs, specifically the OA, NYOT, and camp staff. Those are the people that are really there because they love scouting. And they're probably going to want to do more of it if you give them the opportunity to. So trying to just, get involved with your LEC and your NYOT, YCLs and things like that is a really great thing. And also on the flip side, there's a lot of camp staffers, especially like at a camp like where I work at, where we have 200 staff. There's a lot of people that aren't scouts, that have never been in scouting and are still young enough to be in venturing, but probably too old to join a troop and get the full experience. And they're always super hyped to get in a venturing crew. We've got a couple goals for the end of the year or end of the term. So number one, 100% CSV submission, super important to me. And then also we want to have multiple applications for both our president and VP for next term. That's kind of always my advice to any leader, is a goal to have is to have people interested in following you up. So that's a big goal for me. And then our big update for the future is our CSVE 101 guide that will kind of walk you through how to do CSVE, in addition to how to use it to your advantage, is coming very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that, CST 14. And Middle Tennessee will be having a Klondike. Atlanta area will be having their banquet both in February. And of course, we'll see you all at Winterfest out in Northeast Georgia. So, yep, that's it. And I will throw it to Karis and CST 15.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karis, and like Michael said, I'm the president of CST 15. We are doing great. We've had a really great turnout at a lot of our meetings and the different events that are happening throughout our territory. And those councils who are who are engaging with us are super active and have a great deal of members, which is really awesome. We're still reaching out to a couple more just to make sure that the Venturing Health is still doing good, but for the most part, we're doing really well. We've had a huge boost in our social media engagement with our new followers, and with the addition of our newsletter, the kind of bringing that back for every month has been really awesome. So shout out to our communications chair, Lucia. She's been doing an amazing job with our monthly newsletters. And for anyone on the call who'd like to get their stories submitted, make sure you go onto our social medias because we have links to that, and it looks really awesome every month. Our top strategy for increasing youth engagement is through our social media, not only with more frequent postings, but with more interactive, such as our newsletter, having prompts for comments to get that engagement up. And then coming up soon, we're going to have some polls running on our Instagram to help out with some more venturing fun that we have coming for our territory. We try to do some fun things during our meetings, such as holding trivia, doing Jeopardies. Our last meeting was our holiday party, so we did holiday trivia. We all dressed in holiday attire, and it was just super fun. And it was a great way to get to chat with our fellow venturers and those presidents in more of a casual setting than our typical meetings. It was really nice to kind of hear and get to know everyone. And then also our newsletter has been a really great way to reach out and for us to get to see what you guys are all doing, but then for everyone else to see what everyone else is doing, which has been really awesome. A goal that we have for our new year is attendance for at least 60% of the rest of our councils on our calls, and getting reliable contacts for every single council and making sure that that's 100% up to date. Other updates, we intend to hold another training meeting like we did in the first half, like our first trimester. It's really successful. We got a lot of people to come to that. We have something really exciting coming in the new year, and you guys may see us working on that at Winterfest. So we hope to see you guys all there. And we also look forward to attending some events in the new year, I think starting in April. But if you guys would like for us to join some of your other events, I know Nick and I and Mr. Sheederman, we really love to spend time with you guys and to talk about venturing and to do all the venturing fun stuff. So please let us know. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karis. With that, I'll go ahead and hand it off to CST 16 with their council support president, Emily.
Okay. Hi. So our strategy is our top strategy for increasing the engagement for everything is just to be more engaging in the actual calls themselves, trying to have as much conversations as possible so that it's not just me or any of the other people that are in the leadership program talking, that it is more of a group effort to try and boost that. And then our goals are to try and have more attendance on our calls. We just got one of our councils more active that has not been active in a few years now. So that is exciting to try and get them started and towards building their programs and just to get more engagement in the calls. And we still don't have a vice president, so hopefully at our next elections we will have someone for that position as well, so that it is not as stressful. And that's all that I have. So back to you.
Thank you so much, Emily. And with that, that sums up the reports on behalf of our council support presidents for CSTs 1 through 16. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. And we still have our advisors minutes, but I do want to thank our council support presidents for all the hard work that they've put in, as well as their advisors over the last couple of months and throughout their term. As you can see, they've all done truly excellent, phenomenal work. And they have some pretty great ideas that they've been sharing tonight. So please make sure, if you're watching at home, for those of you on the call tonight, take what you've heard. All these strategies for increasing youth engagement and retention. I've heard really great things, and I think they're all, I've been writing them down. So make note of these items and make sure, take them back to your home council, your crew, and put them in place. Let's be unique. Let's attend council events. Let's put on our venturing greens and go to events. Let's, have a stronger social media presence. Let's tailor the program to those that we're trying to reach. All of these are great ideas. So thank you all so much for sharing that. With that, we'll go ahead and move on to our advisors minutes, beginning with Julie Dalton, our NVOA advisor and the National Venturing Chair.
Thanks, Andrea. I too heard a lot of great ideas and a lot of positive energy and momentum with increased venturing membership. And since March of 2024, so we are growing. And now that we've got 2024 in the rearview mirror, when we've closed out that year with this membership change and growth and momentum, let's all focus on recruiting next year, because that's our number one goal. We are all recruiters, and it's our job to make sure that we can share that venturing story. So as we start this new year of 2025, let's all make it a resolution that we're going to recruit somebody new to your crew. If we all do that, then by the end of 2025, we'll double in numbers, and that'll be phenomenal. So with that, I want to turn it over to Thomas Roberts, who is our National Venturing Commissioner.
Feel a little guilty about not having a uniform, but here I am. Part of the challenge that you all have as national and territory venturers is that you get just 1 year, and you need to start worrying about momentum. I have been bragging on what a great job you all have been doing around the country, and you should leave a great legacy for everybody. And that's easy for me to say. I'm sure it's easy for you to accomplish, given what you've accomplished so far. Venturing is very special. I think venturing is one of the best things you can spend your time on, and I'm glad that you all are doing such a great job. Thanks. I guess Tim Anderson is next.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tom. My message is pretty short and sweet as well. Thanks for everything that y'all have done. And, one of my favorite basketball players of all time is Michael Jordan. And those of you that are Chicago fans or have watched The Last Dance or anything else knows that he didn't just start winning the championships the first year he played, nor the second. It took him some time to build a team and get coaches around him and everything else. And I think that's representative of us as we're building. And I told Julie, we were right there. We almost made a membership. Venturing and Sea Scouting together did make membership growth, which that's a teamwork effort in itself and exploring as well. But you guys really cut into, we were having some pretty big losses, and y'all really made some great strides in this last year. And I wanted to point out a couple of things that I thought was really good ideas. The starting of MVOAs. I'm going to use what Tom said about momentum. I'm going to use the word lasting impact. By you going and helping start MVOAs and growing membership, you're going to leave venturing a lot better than you found it. So if I were to pick two things out of everything I heard tonight that might have been, not that everything wasn't my favorite, but two of the favorite things I heard was starting MVOAs and helping councils grow membership. And that's something that we can leave venturing a lot better than we found it. So Andrea, thank you for all that you're doing and appreciate y'all. And I hope y'all had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Julie, Tom, Tim, thank you so much for your advisors minutes. Once again, to all of our council support presidents, our VPs out there, our advisors, our NVOA vice presidents and associate advisors, thank you all so much for the work that you've put in over the last, the last year, the half of our term. And I really look forward to what comes next. We're only halfway there, which means that we have just as much time to make an even greater impact, but I'm already so proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish. For everyone at home, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon for the next National Venturing Cabinet call. As always, if you don't follow us on our social medias, go ahead and do so now. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So make sure most accounts will be Venturing BSA, and our territory VOAs also have independent pages. So all the fun stuff that you've been hearing about tonight, upcoming events, monthly meetings, all that information can be found on these social medias. So if you don't already follow our social medias, make sure to do so now. And with that, again, thank you all so much for joining. Happy holidays, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Thanks, Andrea.